Hi everyone, this is Aaron from HH Watch Reviews. Welcome back to the channel. Today I have the full review of the San Martin SN0116. This watch was purchased from the San Martin Design flagship store and I was provided a small discount for it, so that's why you're seeing the paid promotion pop up. That won't affect my review of this watch as usual, and if you're interested in purchasing this watch, I will leave a link for the watch and also for the store in the description below. Now let's look at the watch. We have a 39.5 millimeter case, a lug-to-lug of 46.5 millimeters, a thickness of 12.5 millimeters, and a lug width of 20 millimeters. This watch runs on the NH34 GMT movement from Seiko. It has around 41 hours of power reserve. It beats at 21,600 vibrations per hour. It hacks and hand winds. We have a screw down crown that gives this watch 100 meters of water resistance, a coin edge bezel with a ceramic bezel insert. The top of the case is brushed and the sides of the case is also brushed, and we have this beautiful thick polished bevel that goes from one lug to the other lug. What I really like about this polished bevel is when you look at the watch from the top, you can actually see these two polished bevels. And what this does is it gives you the impression that the lugs are a lot slimmer than they are. And this gives this watch a very elegant look. Even though the case is 39.5 millimeters, it just looks a lot smaller and slimmer on the wrist. And the other thing that helps with the slimness of this watch is the fact that it's only 12.5 millimeter thick, and some of it is the top hat sapphire crystal and the case back of the watch. So if you look at the profile, the mid case is very slim, and really the portion that you see and feel when you wear the watch is around 9 millimeters. And the lugs you can see curve down very nicely. It really hugs the wrist. So when you wear this watch on the wrist, it just feels very elegant, very nice and slim, and it's very comfortable. I really like that San Martin decided to put drilled lug holes on this watch because as a strap person, I love changing the straps on my watch. And you notice in this video that there's different straps that I wore this watch on, and you'll have links to these straps down below in the description if you're interested in any of them. But really, there's a lot of straps that match this watch very nicely, especially if you have a nice tan leather strap. I think that it matches this watch very nicely. So once again, good job San Martin for putting drilled lug holes. All right, so let's take a look at this bracelet. This is a Beats of Rice bracelet that starts at 20 millimeters and tapers down to 16 millimeters. We have around 18.4 millimeters at the clasp. The center pieces of each link is polished and the extremities are brushed. The brushing continues down to the clasp, and the clasp has two polished bevels on each side. You also have the applied logo there. The sides of the bracelet are polished. Now, one thing to note is each link is held by a screw, but these screws are actually smaller than the usual screws they use on their bracelets. And so the screwdriver that comes in the box is too big for these screws. So make sure that if you do purchase this watch, you have the right size screwdriver so you're able to adjust your bracelet when you receive it. Now the clasp, this is their newer on-the-fly micro adjustment clasp. Everything is fully milled. You have a push button, so you want to extend the clasp, you just press on it and pull on the bracelet. And if you want to resize it back to a smaller size, you just have to push the bracelet in to the clasp. Now, what do I think of this bracelet? I think overall, the bracelet design matches the design of the watch. Everything is very well finished. The end links that are solid fits the case very well. The brushing matches the brushing of the case. I think it's just an overall very nice bracelet. Alright, so let's talk about the design of this watch. Is this really an original design or is it a copy of another watch? Now, I've heard some people say that this is a copy of some other brands that use these colors. And honestly, in my opinion, if you're only copying a certain color of a watch, that doesn't mean your watch is not an original design. If you're copying the case, how the bezel is made, the overall look of the watch, then yeah, that's a copy. But if it's just colors, there's just so many colors you can use on a watch. And so, when you see all these colors match another brand's watch, the way you should be comparing it is take a different color way of this current watch and compare it to the other brand's watch. If the watches are similar, then yeah, it's a copy. But if it's only the color, then I don't personally think that's copying the other brand. And so when I first saw this watch, the real photos, the first watch that came to mind was the Worn and Wound and Timex collaboration. They made it in two colorways, and one of them had the teal dial, and the outer portion of the dial was in the beige color. So obviously, the San Martin has those two colors on the dial. But if you look at the black dial San Martin and you compare that to the Timex watch, they look nothing alike. So you can't say San Martin copied Timex. No, this is just a color design, a color choice that was copied, and that's fine because everything else about this watch is very different from that Timex. Now let's zoom in on this beautiful dial here. So we have, like I said, a teal dial, and the outer portion of the dial is in a beige color. We have these 5-minute markings on the beige section that is printed in orange, and that matches the second hand's color. Then you have these beautiful long hour hand and minute hand that match the size and the shape of the applied indices. The GMT hand is an arrow hand, and it is in a red color that matches the GMT text. And right below that GMT text, we have the date window with a beautiful bevel around the date window cutout. The date disc color matches the teal dial, and the date is printed in white. We have a dark blue ceramic bezel insert. Initially, I thought that the dark blue ceramic bezel insert would be what bothered me and clashed with the rest of the dial. But upon receiving this watch and wearing it for the past week, I think that what really bothers me is the choice of putting both red and orange in the hands. And hear me out. Let me compare this to the black dial. You see, the black dial has three colors really. It's black, white, and red. You have a red GMT hand, a red text for the GMT, and also you have a red tip on the seconds hand. Now let's apply that design to this one here. Let's say we put the GMT hand and the GMT text in orange, and then the seconds hand is just normal, plain silver, but then the tip is painted in orange. I think this design would look a lot better. You only have one extra color on top of the teal and the beige on the dial, and the red is just completely gone from this design. And I think that if they ever do make a version 2 of this watch, they should definitely correct that and remove the red completely from this colorway, because I don't think it matches anything else on this overall design. So that's the only thing I would really change. But overall, I really like this watch. I love how it wears on the wrist. Like I said, especially with these very slim looking lugs and the profile being very slim also. And it's just a strap monster. And honestly, if you're not really into this colorway, I would strongly suggest that you take a look at the black dial. It is a more classy look, has less colors, and really is just red, black, and white. And you overall you will really like this watch because it is very nicely built. The design is very nice, and it doesn't look like anything else that San Martin has currently in their catalog. So kudos to San Martin for this beautiful design. And I hope they continue making these original designs, because yes, it's nice, having, these homage watches, and I'm sure they sell, very well for them. But it's time for them to come up with their own original designs. And if they keep coming out with designs like this watch, I think that they're gonna hit gold with these new releases. So, let me know what you guys think about this watch. Has anyone ordered the black dial, or anyone ordered this one here? And so far, what do you guys think of your purchase? Are you happy about it? Is there anything I missed in this review that you might want to share? So leave a comment down below. And as usual, if you like this video, please click on that like button, share the video with a friend or two, or anyone who's interested in watches. And while you're down there, click on that subscribe button. It really helps this channel. So once again, thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you on the next one.